What an absolute beast. Thank you for that one, Katie. Well, she's not the only one who's going to be working out on the show today because our guest co-host is in the studio now and we are going to be working out later. I should get my stretches in. But for right now, let's welcome to the show from 365 Physique, it's Jason Grima. Jason, thank you so much for being on the show.
Great, thanks so much for having me.
So I want to talk about 365 Physique. How is it different from a regular gym?
So the 365 Physique basically focuses on fostering a holistic lifestyle 365 days a year. So we're trying to take the concept away from these short-term transformation programs where it's a lot of strenuous activity, it's taking sacrifices out of our personal lives and focusing on a long-term approach, more or less.
So how do you do that specifically? It's not just the workouts.
No, so we focus on a number of different things. So obviously training is primary, but then we look at obviously having a good relationship with nutrition and food, the headspace aspect, and of course what we'll touch on today is the community and the importance of having the right environment or a welcoming environment to go into every single day, and it's not intimidating and it's full of friendly faces, but at the same time you're still seeing some sort of progress.
It's good that it's not intimidating. We were just talking about that a second ago. I want to understand a little bit more about your programs. Do you have specific programs tailor-made for specific people, or is it a regular gym concept where people come in as and when they can?
Yeah, so we have a number of different programs. I think what we're known for is our semi-private group training. Our focus there is to have a ratio of 1 coach to 4 members. So what people will find is they'll come in at 6 a.m., a very popular time slot, and we'll be able to take about 16 people in that time slot because we have 4 trainers actively engaging in the session. So for a lot of concepts around Dubai, you'll see a studio of 20 people and 1 trainer taking the session from the front, whereas we've tried to change things and make it a little bit more personalized and have 4 trainers keeping eyes on everybody and making sure that they get that personalized connection. And that's what keeps people coming back. At 6 a.m, if you don't feel that accountability, it's very easy to sleep in.
Do you see your groups advancing a bit faster than those who just go like one-on-one, say?
Yeah, I think, you know, I thought of this the other day. I had people actually re-signing, not necessarily for me or the program, but because of the accountability that the group puts on each other, it allows people to come in, day out and more consistently. I think the most important thing when it comes to obviously progression is seeing that over time there's some sort of laid out strategy, you know, and there's a plan and a process, so yeah.
We're so happy to have you here, Jason, because obviously, you know, it's not just about the physicality. Some trainers are like, you need to eat this exactly, you need to push that exactly. There is an element of mental obstacles as well. So a lot of the 3 of us mentioned, and we're quite confident people, that we do find the gym intimidating. Yeah. What would you say to someone whose main barrier is taking that first step and being in a gym and not feeling bad about themselves for being in there?
Definitely. I think confidence comes with obviously having an understanding of something. You know, in this situation, in this environment, I'll be brutally honest, I'm not confident whatsoever. For you 3, it is extremely comfortable. So when I see people come into the gym, that's my comfort zone. So I have to try to share that with them and make them feel more comfortable. The best thing for that is to have a point of contact or have a friendly face that you initially see. And without plugging obviously all the personal trainers, the amazing personal trainers in Dubai, I would be saying reach out to a face that can actually guide you on that first step. It doesn't need to be forever. A lot of people are hesitant, where does this take me if I start personal training? But for me, I think working with somebody individually initially, even if it's for 4 weeks, will get your foot in the door, and it's not as bad as it seems when you're on the inside.
Would you say that food and nutrition is just as important as your workouts?
It's more important.
Yeah, this is the thing. I think a lot of people don't realize, obviously, poor nutrition can absolutely break down a whole week of even the most intense training. However, I do feel both of them go hand in hand. For me, I think it's very rare to find someone actually stick to a nutrition program that's not following any sort of training. We know exercise releases endorphins, it makes us feel good when we sweat. Obviously, we feel quite self-satisfied with our efforts. So I think when I've seen progress for people, it's when they've been actually able to prioritize training. We're going to have ups and downs with food. You know, we've got celebrations throughout the year where food will be good or not so good. So for me, it's like, as long as you keep training, the food will come back on track at some point. So just knowing the right balance between the two is the most important thing.
Now, Jason, earlier on you mentioned that you have this 4 people program that happens at 6 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. I gotta ask, why 4? Why not 5? Why not 6? Why 4?
Yeah, so what we've done with 4 people to 1 is to make sure that we have the most personalized approach. You know, we can only do so much when it comes to obviously supervising a client through a session, and we like to make sure people build up their own accountability. So with that 4, we're able to educate them on how to train them through the right processes, build up their individual confidence. so that they can then down the line go to the gym on their own and follow a program. So I think where it often gets lost, the semi-private personal training would definitely imply that you're feeling like there's a very personalized approach and you're getting one-to-one time with your trainer at all times.
Now, what we love right here in the UAE, in Dubai specifically, is the 30 by 30 fitness challenge. What is 365 Physique doing? Are you seeing a lot of new faces coming into the gym?
Yeah, it's one of the best things. I think when I first came over to Dubai 7 years ago, it was just starting to kick off. And it's only been getting bigger and better ever since. We have a lot of new faces, a lot of new initiatives. Obviously, there's a lot of activations around the city. We're involved in one on the 17th down at Kite Beach, so take a look out for that. But it is one of those moments where a lot of communities and companies are trying to give back to their employees, getting them active, bringing in professionals to educate them on health and wellness. So it's one of the most amazing initiatives, and I have not seen something like this globally yet. Not to this level.
Now, Jason, we've discussed food, fitness, lifestyle. Another very important question which has the world and the internet divided is the new weight loss injections that a lot of people are taking. What is your take on this?
I think, I have a strong belief in there being simply no shortcuts. For a lot of people, obviously you've done the research on what you're talking about at the moment. It is designed for a specific purpose. I think at the moment it's being used for probably not the purpose it was first intended. That being said, I've seen people go through that journey, and for them it's been life-changing on a personalized level. They were never able to see the changes that they would have liked. So it is a shortcut, and like most shortcuts, they generally lead to a form of rebound at some point, unfortunately, and that's going to be the hardest thing for anybody going down that road to navigate. Biggest bit of advice for anybody watching or listening that has chosen to go down that road is just don't compromise your strength training. The biggest thing we've seen is people obviously lose large amounts of muscle tissue going through those injections. They've lost 30 plus kilos, whatever it might be, but at the same time they've lost a lot of muscle and strength and shape. So whatever you choose to do, just focus on your strength training and make sure you're working with a professional, obviously, and to make sure that it is appropriate for you.
But Jason, just a quick question on 365 Physique. You mentioned earlier that it's sort of like an all-around lifestyle. How is it a lifestyle exactly?
Yeah, so we have a motto called Living 365, and one of the main hashtags that I like to push with my team is rent is due. And so that kind of serves as a metaphor that we need to turn up every single day. Just like rent is an obligation to obviously pay your house rent on time, I try to put the pressure on my team to say, we have a service to ourselves to actually turn up every day and exercise. It's in our best interest for our health and longevity. And ultimately, most of the things that we do are to benefit those around us that we care about. And we can't really be here to take care of them if we're not alive for very long. So we know the importance of health and wellness. We know that we won't get away with it if we wait until too late. So for me, we've tried to go for the philosophy around Living 365, which is like every day we're doing something, and it doesn't need to be weight training. It could be yoga, it could be Pilates, it could be dance, it could be a walk, it could be stretching. But I guide my team on what's appropriate for each person depending on their goals, but it's like we have rent to pay. So every day something needs to be done. We need to be taking progress forwards when it comes to health and wellness. So,
well, Jason, you definitely know your stuff, and we're so excited you're going to be with us to the end of the episode.
Great, thank you.
All right, coming up, we're very excited to be talking about the first ever male support group for athletes. We're talking all about Menathon. Stay right here.